you again for your presence. We have an order in which we've asked you to sit anywhere. We're actually going to ask and you get up and to introduce yourself. If you would just stand here. We didn't have a podium and we don't have a mic, but I think our voices will carry enough that everybody can be heard. But if you stand here once you come up to introduce yourself and tell the audience a little bit about yourself. We have a timekeeper, it's right there. So we give each candidate 2 to 3 minutes to speak. She doesn't have any qualms about raising up that sign. She has to say, okay, 2 3 minutes and stuff. Okay, so we will try to be timely, be efficient in what we are doing and what we're saying. We're going to ask if you have your phones, if you would please put them on silent. I know how that is, they'll go off in just any time. We have passed some index cards around. We ask if you have questions that you would like to ask, that you would seek. Melanie, would you raise your hand? Excuse me. She's taking, Melanie Ross is taking up the card because after each candidate has had an opportunity to introduce him or herself, then we will have a question session. If you don't get your questions on a card, that's okay. I think we'll have enough time left where everyone will get their questions answered. I know that we have some, these are local candidates up here for local races. I understand and see that we have some other candidates in the audience, and time permits, I will allow you to at least introduce yourself to the people and let them see who you are. Any questions or anything about anything that I've said so far? We're going to ask the circuit judge candidates to come first. County judge will be next. County clerk candidate, constable, and then the school board candidates will round out our evening. If there's no questions for me or any other NAACP member, we will get started. Like those smiles. Good. So if our circuit judge candidate, either one.
Good evening. I am Judge Quincy Ross. I am running for re-election. The seat I'm running for is the 10th Judicial District 4th Division. Now, a lot of people wonder exactly what we do as judges, and what do we do? You're kind of there. You have a lot of power. Do you actually use it to do anything? I'm running on a platform of being fair. That's one of my biggest tenets, about being fair with people when they come in front of me. The best way to talk about fairness is to tell a quick story about fairness. True story. I won't talk about any names, but someone had a drug problem, drug addiction. Bought $25 worth of meth. He was looking at, since he has a drug problem, he's been up many, many times, this is maybe the 4th time. Looking at going to prison, $25 worth of meth, prosecutor asked for 3 years. Now, we've all in this case for a long time because he didn't want to take the 3 years. He said, my life is on track. And I'm starting to, do something for myself. I'm working for it, got a good job, paying all my child support. And I think I'm doing better than I have done before. Okay, is that my time? Sorry. Okay. All right, so he asked to be sentenced by judge and not have a jury sentence. So I said, okay, fair. What's fair? $25, is that my time?
No, that's this thing I'm turning off.
Okay, sorry. All right, so $25, what's fair? Now, this person has to be sentenced to something because they're a habitual offender. So what that means is basically that the rules say you have to do something. The punishment I came up with is you have to do 100 times $25. That's $2,500. So that seems fair. we had to do something else. You had to have bring prison time. Right? Bring fairness was simply, okay, we had to do something. You're paying, you have a good job, you'll be able to pay this $2,500 worth of fine. So let's do this. Why don't you go to jail on the weekends for a couple months, and we'll call it fair. You pay the money, and you don't have anything happen during probation. Fair. Fairness is something that everybody wants when they have something happen in their lives. You have a hiccup, a hip bump. Hi, I'm Judge Ross. Once again, I can talk to you all about many stories. That's time. Judge Ross, I'm running for re-election. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. Administer true justice. Show mercy and compassion to one another. On Thursday afternoon, many of us heard these historic words. On this vote, the yeas are 53, the nays are 47, and this nomination is confirmed. And just like that, the Honorable Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson began her journey to officially become Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson. I would love to be able to become a history maker like Justice Jackson. My name is Demetria L Edwards, and I am running for Circuit Judge of the 10th Judicial District, the 4th Division. I've been an attorney for over 20 years. I am a 5th-generation Southeast Arkansan, native daughter of Little Lake Village, Arkansas, down the road. And I am a graduate of Lakeside High School, also a graduate of Howard University of Washington, D.C. During that time in D.C., I had opportunities to become a congressional intern for the late Dale Bumpers and Senator Carol Moseley Braun. Also, I am a graduate of the University of Arkansas School of Law, and also I've done some time at Oxford University in England, where I got some certificate work in international human rights law. I am a former attorney advisor from the United States Department of Justice in New York City, where I worked at the Executive Office for Immigration Review when I first got out of law school. And I've also served right here in Monticello, a little bit hidden because I was an Office of Chief Counsel Attorney, which means I was an attorney for the state of Arkansas DHS in foster care cases. In Ashley County, Bradley County, Chico County, Drew County, DeShay County. And I'll tell you one thing about me, that I have been given the opportunity to have perspective. So also one of my backgrounds, I also have a Master's of Divinity in International Missions and some time towards a PhD in Christian spirituality. So I volunteered at some juvenile detention centers and prisons, so that gave me perspective to see kids who might be in detention. But also because I'm an attorney who's not only represented the state of Arkansas in DHS cases, but also I've represented parents to help them in their attempts to get their children back. I've been able to see things from a different perspective. So if you see a kid in juvenile detention and you say, oh, the incentive is you want to go home. What happens when a kid does not have a home to go to? So I would love to be able to administer justice with the wisdom, the same kind of wisdom Solomon had, if anybody knows about Solomon. But also to do it with integrity, with fairness, with openness. I believe in the rule of law. I respect the Constitution of the United States of America and the Arkansas State Constitution. But I also would love to be able to make sure that I'm administering justice for all people. My name is Demetria L Edwards.
Do we have any more circuit judge candidates?
No.
Okay, if not, we'll start with the council judge candidate.
I'm saying I think that I'm an incoming, so I think that the challenge should go for it.
Okay.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I'm Jesse Griffin. I guess I am the, what we'll call it.
Opponent.
A lot of different things, and a lot of different people. But the point I wanna make sure of you is I'm gonna be the next Drew County judge. That's what I wanna be called. There are several reasons for that. First of all, I have a deep faith in this county. Second of all, I grew up out over here on Trotter Street. How many people out here live in the county? All right? Most of you live in the city, don't you? All right? What does the county do for you? That's what I thought. Now, let me tell you what I'm gonna do with you. With the new mayor and new election boards, and things of that nature, city councils, all the way across to the forum court, things of that nature, we're gonna work real close. With the new mayor coming in, the city council, police department, our sheriff's department, everybody, community leaders. We're gonna open our eyes and open our ears and listen. And we're gonna watch. Then we're gonna pay attention to what's going on. Like I said, I grew up right over here on Trotter Street. At that point in time, you could walk over to the baseball fields and all that kind of stuff. I'm not gonna get into, I'm married, I've got all this other stuff. We're good to go. I got a fact sheet over there by me, so please pick up one of those over on the table, and they'll give you some more facts about me, okay? The point that I wanna do is make sure this community works hard together, and we love each other. Everybody knows what the day is, right? Palm Sunday. And next Friday is Good Friday. And the next day after, 3 days after that.
Resurrection.
I'm a religious man. And as I was told one time, religion will send you to hell. I will tell you that. But I'm a Christian. And I know how I got to be a Christian. What that it is, I'm going to bring that value with me. My word is my bond. I'll shake your hands. I still believe a handshake ought to be good enough as anything else. If you have a problem with me, come see me. If you can't get a hold of me, come find me. I will talk to you. I will listen to your concerns. I can't promise I can fix every road in Drew County. I can't promise I get every ditch dug out, every road paved back and forth, but I can guarantee you one thing. In the next 4 years, because that's all I get, then if I want to run for election, I'll do that. But it'll be my choice to see if I've done a good job. If I haven't done a good job, I won't run. But how do I know I'm going to do a good job? You're going to tell me that as we go along. Each year, I'm going to give them a report. Every month, I'm giving a report to the county in court on what's going on in the county. Thank you very much. Jesse Griffin, the county judge.
How are you doing? I'm County Judge Robert Aiken. I've lived here for 60 years. My wife, Cindy, we've been married nearly 41 years. I've got 2 daughters. One lives in Colorado. She's an educator. My youngest daughter lives north of town. She's also an educator. He was right. We're a subdivision of the state. The county is a subdivision of the state, just as the city is a subdivision of the county. The county judge, meaningful responsibility is if the mayor calls, then you react at that point. You don't just go and give your services to it because you've got 360 miles of county road that you have to take care of your own self. So you better be able to take care of what's out in the county first. And first and foremost, that's your job. Anything in the county. And when I say that, roads make up about 5% of our job. About 5 to 8%. You have other things to do. And as he said, we're getting a new mayor. There's going to be somebody that possibly is sitting in this room that's going to be mayor. I do not want that mayor to come in with 0 experience as city mayor, and me having 0% for judge. Because when you go to the Hill in Little Rock and you need that help, you got to have some experience and you have some knowledge of who you need to talk to, because in politics means nothing more than relationships. And if you have relationships, you can get things done for the constituency around you. I do have that with several of the senators, several of the representatives. I am running as a Republican, so is my opponent. So you would have to vote in the Republican primary to vote for me or my opponent. And that's, I don't know if that's right or wrong, that's the way it is in the state of Arkansas. So, on May 24th, you're gonna have to make a choice, either vote Democrat or Republican. And, I'm Robert Aiken, I'm running for county judge, I'd love to have your support. Thank you.
That's okay, Robert. I think you're.
I think those are all of our county judge candidates. Now we'll have the county clerk candidate.
Good afternoon, folks. I want to thank each of you for your time, and thank you, Pastor Buffington, for allowing me to speak today. My name is Stephanie Chisholm, and I'm running for the office of county clerk. I'm married, we have 5 children, and just this week, my oldest daughter gave us a beautiful grandson. Currently, I'm the administrative assistant to the Monticello Chief of Police. I currently supervise all billing and invoicing on behalf of the police department, and I supervise all federal and state grant applications. I compile all of the statistical data at the police department for review. And this is so that the chief can best address trends and threats to our community and allocate the resources properly. I'm also the system administrator for the police reporting software that we use, and I make sure that members of the public get the accurate reports that they need. The data I compile and submit to the chief helps determine crime trends, where our resources are needed, and keeps tracks of activities that make sure our police department policies our community fairly and equally. A lot of people don't know what all the county clerk does. The county clerk has a number of functions, including accounts receivable and payable, like what I do for the city, but on a much larger level. The county clerk does county employees' payroll, marriage licenses, mental health commitment paperwork, and one of the most important jobs that people often forget about is ensuring free and accurate elections in our county. Without mature people in charge, our elections aren't honest, and that just can't be tolerated. There is no room for error when we select our leaders. I need your vote, and I believe that my years as a 911 dispatcher will enable me to deal with the stresses of sudden things that occur or pop up that someone with fewer life experiences might not be able to handle. I believe that my managerial and organizational experience, coupled with my attention to detail that my current position requires, will allow me, with your help, to make our county clerk's office the best it has ever been. Thank each of you for caring enough about your community to be here today. And God bless each of you.
Township. A little bit about myself. I've been in the Air Force for the last 14 years, be 15 in August, and I currently serve as the K-9 handler for your Monticello Police Department. Has everybody got a chance to meet Caesar?
Oh, okay, yeah. The dog, okay.
If you see him out, he's the cute little guy, furry guy, he's the animal, not any of the other sergeants. If you want to come up and pet him, we're not going to eat this. Just pretend I didn't say that. Like I was saying, I've been in the Air Force for the last 14 years. I've been on 5 combat deployments. I've been a police officer for the last 3 years. Was promoted to K-9 handler. Me and Caesar, we've been in specialized training. While I was in the Air Force, I obtained a bachelor's degree, 2 community college of the Air Force degrees. I've got a lot of statistics, a lot of training, a lot of certifications, all that good stuff. But the office I'm running for, Constable of Grady Township, you don't need all that, right? You don't need a bachelor's degree to go out and serve the paper, right? Who knows who their constable is right now? Who knows any of the constables currently? A couple people? All right, so all the silence brings me to what I want to do in the platform that I'm running on. The first experience I had with a constable in Arkansas, about 2 years ago, me and my current sergeant, Shiloh Jordan, got in a pursuit that ended in Cleveland County. The very first law enforcement official from Cleveland County that made it on scene was the constable. That constable showed up with a 4x4, a shotgun, he had his five-star badge on, and he was running a field with us looking for these bad guys, but it just ran from us, okay? So in Drew County, I wanna bring back that relationship of constable and sheriff's department. I wanna give the citizens in Marion Township another option as far as law enforcement goes.
Okay.
You know you have the city that works for you, you know you have the sheriff's department. I wanna be that constable that you can reach out to and say, I'm having a problem. Even if it's just to act as a liaison between what you need and the department that you need to get to. Does that make sense?
Yes.
That's what I wanna do for you guys. I do have two opponents that are up there, primary.
Good evening.
Good evening.
First of all, I want to thank the people of Monticello for supporting me through the 12 years of Monticello School. It kind of gets emotional to me because I worked hard to get Monticello School District to where we are even. KJ graduated. That's not gonna stop progress, is leadership. My staff, my teachers, they know I come to the school to visit. But on the good side of things, Monticello is progressing in the Monticello School District. By me being on the board, I don't know what it was. You know, when we go to Little Rock or on the national trip, Keith Wales represented the Monticello School District. Back in the day, wasn't no Keith Wales going on no board trip. There were no people supporting us. So, as Robert was saying, you know, it's a Democrat and a Republican situation. I don't feel like that. I feel it's the right situation for the people of Monticello, black, white, African American, Chinese, Jew. It's all for right. Back in the day, the school board member didn't have no relationship with the chief of police. Back in the day, didn't have no relationship with the sheriff. We saw a problem for the Monticello School District. I didn't do this about the children. That's the main thing, the children. And putting the people. The job on the school board is to hire the superintendent. It's not to hire a teacher. It's not to hire a principal, but it's to hire the superintendent. And we oversee what she does. But in this, I want to read this. I'm a husband, I'm a father, I'm a businessman. I have served 12 years on the school board. Helped pass 3 villages. That's what that new gym gonna come to. $16 million that I helped with my fellow board members to get for our children, not white children, but for our children. I accumulated over 200 school board hours. I won the outstanding board member, won the master board member, also the pinnacle board of the Monticello School District. If you look at all the board members on your school board now, do nobody have no more school board hours than me for training to know. And on this last hour, I want to bring this up. I have a great NAACP staff that works with me. Tommy Daniel is the president, Carissa the president, Stacy, Tashayla, Smith. I work with all of those for our kids to have progress. Thank you. I want you to make your mind up on May 24th. We need direction, and the direction is progress going forward. Thank you.
Thank you so much to each and every one of you. Let's give them another round of applause. Everyone was respectful of the amount of time you were given. We thank you for that. So that means that we have a little time. I understand that we have other candidates in the audience, and we will give you an opportunity to stand and introduce yourself. But before we do that, I know that we've collected questions, so let's keep the questions in line with the locals that we have here so that we won't be detached from that. And as quickly as those questions can be answered, then we will give you an opportunity to stand and introduce yourself. Can we do that?
Hold on, wait a second, we have one more school board.
I'm sorry. Renee knows. No, that's not okay.
It's what I said after she comes.
I am Renee Knowles. I'm from Possum Valley. I have been on the Drew Central School Board for 26 years. I didn't graduate from Drew Central. I graduated from Monticello. But I married into a 4th-generation family that are Drew Central family. Building new buildings, we're expanding, we're busting at the seams. Like, kids are it just means something to me. And like Pete, I have 26 years on the school board. I have 500-something ASBA school board training hours. I have an Outstanding Board Member Award, a President Award, the Pinnacle Award, and the Master Board Award. I just want to keep progress. I do have an opponent this time. He has not been a school board member, but I just want you to know my heart is in Drew Central, and I'm there for the kids. That's what matters to me. I know these are tough times, and we're trying to put everything academically, extracurricular activities, anything that's out there, anything that gets these kids motivated and get them in something instead of being out on the streets or not having anything to do. And if there's any parents out there that know some kids that have problems that we don't know about, or you want us to get involved in something, or you've got ideas that might interest the kids at school, any kind of ideas, it doesn't matter if it's sports or if it's academic, anything. My phone line is always open. And if I don't answer it, I'm tending to cattle, because we're cattle ranchers. But if you'll leave me a message, I will call you back. And I thank you very much for your opportunity to speak before y'all.
You have any other? Will you? Mayor? Okay, we'll get to you later. Oh, good evening, and thank each of you for coming out. And we're going to direct our questions right now at these locals, and then we're going to get to the rest of you all later. My name is Nellie Rawls, and I'm with the NAACP, a part of the Political Action Committee. My first question is to each of the candidates that has just spoken. So I would like for each one of you all to answer this question. You have the opportunity to become a mediator in your course of work. How will you use this opportunity, and what strategies may be used in a given situation to reach a solution? So that's one of the questions that we received from the audience. I need an answer from each one of you all that has.
I'll be first. You said be a mediator. Read the question again while I can make sure.
You have the opportunity to become a mediator in your course of work. How will you use this opportunity, and what strategies may be used in a given situation to reach a solution?
I can use, for example, I can use the example at the Monticello School District. I can't say no children name. I can say A or B or C or D. I'm gonna use a person that works at the school. We had a situation that this lady was, she had lost her job at the school. And she was a great worker. 20 years she had, just come back on her, 20 years. And I'm gonna say this in public, she was African American. And she came to me. She said, Mr. Wells, I need my job. I said, okay, tell me what it is. They said, blah, 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 this is what happened. So immediately, I got on the phone. I called our head person of the school. I said, we need to talk about this situation before it goes any further. So this lady, and see, all of us need a second chance. I had a second chance. Monticello made me. I had fallen down But I got up because the people of Monticello in my community got behind me, pushed me to do right.
All right now.
So that decision came up of this woman that had a felony record. But she had committed her life to the school district. She said, Mr. Wells, I need my job. I've got children. So I got to thinking about Keith E. Wells Sr. I went to my board members. You know how Mr. Tucker used to say, it's a meeting before the meeting and after the meeting. We had a meeting. And the woman had guts enough to get on camera, and she had to say it in public. And I told her this was what's going to be what it was. And when she said what she had done and asked her to give her job back, you know, it's 4 white on the school board, and I'm only one. I got up right then. I motioned to give her job back. The next man got up, second. So you got to be a mediator when it's time for you to say right or wrong. You cannot be scared. Now, I'm gonna stand up for the kids at Monticello and the people too. Because them children gonna tell me what's going on. Because I go to the school every day it rains. You might be tired of seeing me, but I'm gonna be the mediator when it comes to making the right decision for the children. So if you're not gonna make right decisions and do right for everybody and be the mediator when you've been elected to that board, I don't care if it's Robert Aiken, if it's Mark or Jason, hey Chief, I don't go along with that.
Right.
And we can agree to disagree. Thank you.
Good.
Y'all got just 2 minutes.
I'm sorry, I'm just like my daddy. You know, he talks a lot back.
Here's the first thing you have to do when you're mediating. Make sure you're not part of the problem. And the second thing is, I don't have one side or the other side's interest. Okay? So that separated that. Now, if I did have that, I'd find somebody else to mediate.
See.
Period. Find somebody else that's not on either side, back and forth. Along with that, then, I will identify what the problem is. And I've done some of that by figuring out if I'm on one side or the other. So find out what the problem is. Then turn around there with that and make sure you hear both sides' views. Why do I need both sides? Just like in anything else. Go to the school board, they get in a fight, well, he pushed me down, she run me over. You know, the food wasn't good in the lunchroom. Okay, we'll have an argument over that later. But anyway, so we get both sides' points of views. Then we got to figure out where we need to go with the goal. What are they looking for? Each side's got what they're looking for, right? Right? Judge Aiken, and I'll use his name, is Robert Aiken. We got to figure out how do we get back to the middle. And when we talk about working with the city and things of that nature, how do we get there? Well, we get there by listening to what the city needs are, what the county needs are, and back to mediating again, right? How much are you willing to give? Right? Where can you get to the middle on both sides? And once you've got to that middle, how do you maintain that where it doesn't happen again in that particular area? So that's my view of mediating conflict. You do the same thing with your children, things of that nature. One of them started, one of them you start looking for a good reason. My mom just whooped me sometimes because I was there. Right? That's fine. I probably deserved the whooping. She told me that later. But anyway, that's just part of it. So that's the way I would do with the mediating.
I think in order to be an effective mediator, you have to learn to listen to other people. You have to calmly listen to them explain their situation, and then explain yours, and then work together to meet in the middle for a solution.
Awesome.
In the office of judge, you know, of course, the definition of mediation is to like settle disputes between people. I've already told you that I really have a desire to administer justice, like with the wisdom of Solomon. As they've already said, you need to be able to listen to people. But you know what? You also need to be able to see people. And so I would like to be able to do that, to see whole people, all of us, have that opportunity to really see who people really are. Listen to the attorneys who will be advocating for their clients and things of that nature. But I like to go back to that Solomon story. When those two ladies had those babies, and one of those babies died, and the lady stole the other baby, then Solomon said, okay, we're gonna do it like this. Okay, we're gonna just split the baby in half. So when the one lady said it was not her child, let's do it. Let's split it in half. If I can't have it, no one can have it. And the one who was the true mother said, go ahead, give her the baby.
Mm-hmm.
And so with that, with still being a person of wisdom, we know Solomon was known as a king. He is a historical figure, not just a biblical one. He was someone who was a wise judge. So I want to be able to operate in that level of wisdom and be able to see the times we might talk about splitting the baby and then get to the truth. So I hope to be able to be that kind of a mediator, if you will, and minister justice with the wisdom of Solomon. Thank you.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I get opportunity to do this sometimes. But I have to follow a book that's about this thick. It's a law. It's called the law. It's the book of the law. Just like the sheriff does, or anybody that stood there with their right hand up said they'll follow the law. But mediators, when you can show purpose, it's value added. When you can show the law. I had an individual call me the other day about a cemetery and a church parking lot. The law says if there's 6 or more headstones in that cemetery, I can go in there as county judge and county court and fix that road going in. But I can't fix that parking lot for that church. That's the law. So somewhere you have to show purpose to get a good mediation between you and them, or 2 different people, because the law has been set up here mostly since 1836, and we need to follow it because that's what we say. But being fair and doing what's right is always best. Thank you.
Awesome. I'm enjoying this. I'm enjoying this.
I'll make this really, really quick. I spend 168 hours a month doing nothing but mediating for the public. One thing that I've learned that's always helped me, and every cop will tell you the exact same thing, when you're dealing with problems, there's always one person's truth, another person's truth, and then the actual truth. It's something that I've learned to do in 15 years, not only as a police officer, but as a military first sergeant, is to dissect what the actual truth is. So in the law enforcement capacity, my goal when mediating with the public is going to be to find that actual truth and to help the 2 people or more parties compromise over that truth. Thank y'all.
Well, that is the whole job, being fair, looking for the truth. Except, at times we can delegate those tasks and send to a mediator, but many times that is the full job. You're looking for the truth. You're asking both sides. You're telling people to submit your evidence. Being fair is giving each side the opportunity to submit all their evidence to prove that they are in fact where it is, whether it's innocent or whether they didn't do something, they shouldn't have to pay somebody some money. That's the job of the judge. To make decisions. Constantly make decisions. You constantly have people that are probably mad at you for these decisions you make. Be like Judge Jones.
Okay, I'm gonna make this short and sweet. I don't know how many of you are familiar with the school board and the laws that we have on this. Like I said, anytime you wanna call me, you call me. Now, there's sometimes if it's something that could end up in a student hearing or a grievance hearing for a faculty member or something like that, we can't discuss it. It's the law. We can't discuss it. We've got to be in a neutral position so that if you as an employee or your child comes before us, we don't we don't wanna hear either side. We don't wanna hear from the school side, and we don't wanna hear from the parent or the employee side. And that sounds harsh. We want it all to come to us as a school board group. Carly and I work together. He's been on it 30-something years, but I've been on it 26. And we've had issues come to us. You know, we've had employees, same thing happened. They got in trouble somewhere else, great employees, you know, and we did the same thing. They came to us, we forgave them, you know, we kind of did a plan and everything, and we hired them back. I mean, they were good employees. You can't find really good employees anymore. And of all things, they've been both color. They've been black and they've been white, and they were good employees. I mean, and you just got to stick up sometimes and say, look, I know this is what it says, but as a board, this is what we're gonna do. And we've stuck together. Usually our board is a pretty close-knit board most of the time, and all these years we have stuck together with our thought. But there is some laws that we do have to go by. That doesn't mean that you can't call me on certain issues, but if it happens to be something that possibly could go before the entire board, it's better for us to go in there as not knowing anything and letting both sides present the facts. And if we need more facts, then we'll turn around and tell you, you know, give us something else. This doesn't show us enough one way or the other. So we try to be fair as we possibly can.
Thank you.
Okay, Ms. Murray, what are your goals to unite the school with our community?
Okay, well, that's something that we've always done, or we've always tried to do. In all the years being in the school district and around the school district, we've tried to get things together, and of course, I'll be honest with you, back in the day, it was a lot easier for parents to come in, and we would build playgrounds together, and we'd do fundraisers together, and the kids would, I mean, it was just, we'd have parties. Parents could come, we could bring cupcakes, and we could bring Kool-Aid, or we could bring whatever. Nowadays, the government, the higher up government, anyone in here that's the kids can't, you know, the kids can't have chips, or the kids can't have this, the kids can't have that. But, you know, those kids are probably getting some of that at home. And I'm not saying I'm a snacker, and I'm not saying that's good. They need to have good meals at home. But we've taken the laws, and the federal government and the state have taken the community and so much of the parenting out of the schools because, well, COVID didn't help, but before that, you know, we can't bring cupcakes and have a party. We can't do this. You know, we've got to start a lot higher up than just the board.
I see.
We'd say, come on, y'all come anytime you want to. Of course, COVID has hurt us, and everybody can't come and go in the schools like we can, but eventually we hope we get that back. So I want the parents and everyone out there, the constituents, and even if you don't have kids in either school, I want you to remember, you know, we want you to be involved. We want you to have ideas. We want to have a relationship with you. But, you know, because it looks like we're kind of not doing that, it's not because we don't want to. It's because at this point in time, it's a real big problem, and it's a lot higher up than us. Thank you.
Okay, this next question is for the local judges and the circuit judges. What experience qualifies you to be the judge? Well, circuit.
To be a circuit judge candidate, one has to have 6 years of legal experience and must have good standing with the Arkansas bar and must be a good character. That's the only qualifications for a circuit judge, and then one must be elected by you, the people. That's all. So it's always important to make sure that you vouchsafe for the people you're going to have sitting in these chairs. Circuit judge is also, it's one of those positions that, you know, I think about it now, you don't run towards this type of position because you do constantly punish people. That's what the job is, punish people a lot of the time. Sometimes you have a good outcome, but a lot of times it's you punish people. So you have to be prepared for that also. But that's the only qualification for certain judge. 6 years and be of character and be in good standing with the Arkansas bar. Once again, real like Judge Law.
As Judge Ross has said, yes, you have to be a licensed attorney in the state of Arkansas for at least 6 years. I've been one for over 20 years. Also, as you well know, then I'm obviously a graduate of law school. And also, I'm prepared not only in head and in education, also in heart, and I'm also qualified because I have a desire to serve. And so throughout my entire reputation as an attorney, I've done mostly public service. I've been a managing attorney for Legal Aid of Arkansas, right out the gate. Well, first in New York City, where I worked for over 20-something immigration judges there, right there in the heart of New York City, and also as an attorney advisor for this program with the United States Department of Justice. And at that time, I'm telling my age, it was an honors program where Janet Reno was the Attorney General. So I worked under the former U.S. Attorney General Janet Reno at that time. And again, my heart is in this part of this community. So I'm also qualified because I love Southeast Arkansas. I didn't know I was going to be back here, but God had a plan, and I'm here, and I am ready and willing to serve. Okay? Demetria L Edwards.
Whew.
Well, I guess I'll go next. 10 years. You really have had somebody that's 25 years old, not a felon. Like Judge Ross said, there are qualifications that are written in the book. I follow them. I'm sure that Jesse has followed them also. What qualifies me, what we really need, is 32 years of logistics and construction work. A lot of, like I said, about 8% of this road, we got 360 miles, like I said, of roads in this county that belong to us. About a third of them are paved, about a third of them are chip seal, about a third of them are gravel. Knowing when a piece of equipment is worn, you need to know that. How much the equipment costs, where you get your value for your constituents. It's a trying job, to say the least. The first word you'll learn as county judge is no. Because the people will hit you with every direction of what gets you put in an orange suit and get to go over to the sheriff's house next door. Because they will ask you to do things not within the bounds of the law.
Mm-hmm.
I've been able to follow the law. I've been able to get along with the legislators, get things done like Act 895, which saved the money for the prisoners' health care. It was outrageous. Now we get Medicare, Medicaid prices because of Act 895, which I directly worked with in 2015 assembly. It was hard, but it was good, and it saved money for counties all over the state of Arkansas in the buildings, I'm sure. Thank you, Robert.
Well, there's one thing I will say, Robert has got on me. He's been there 10 years. All right, let me give you my experience. Graduated school at Drew Central at 17, joined the Army. Graduated in May, joined the Army before, joined in May, was gone in June, 17 years old. 26 years, 3 months, and 3 days later, he dropped that gentleman back there in the back there. He was the first sergeant. I retired as a command sergeant major, United States Army. I carried a combat brigade, little tanks, foot infantry, road graders, combat medics, aircraft, everything, out to the first couple. I was a headquarters company, first started on the ground. So if you don't know what that is with experience, I'm sorry. That's what I bring to you. I bring life experiences. I bring combat experiences that I know how to deal with it. First thing you do, put the right people in the right job. Find out who's working work, and give them a chance to work up, or work sideways, or work their way out. That's the thing. The second side of it too, we talk about the law. The law's good. I hate the word no. No, I can't do that. I know what the law is. But how come we can't find out something to say yes? Let me find a committee. Let me find some people in your community. Let's get the JPs involved. And let's get that road that the judge grades up to the cemetery done. Let's find some people to help that particular little small country church because they don't have enough people to take it right. Let's find somebody then that might be able to help. Reach out, touch the community, help them, cross over. We talk about our new mayor coming in. God, it's sometimes just a fresh breath of air to have fresh feet. Reach out and touch something fresh with new ideals and not sitting there the old way. Again, I have a heart and I want to reach out and touch everybody. Thank you.
What are your views of employees having campaign signs on their vehicles?
Is that the rest of it?
Anybody can answer?
This is one of my pet peeves. Here's your problem with signs, right? Remember when I was still alive, they got a thing on there so you can put a sign, they put it on there. Right away. How do they fix them up? Against the law. Well, they pick them up. I don't get a fine for it, they pick up my sign. Put it out behind the building out there, and you go pick it back up, you stick it back out, and you pick it up again. Hopefully we obey the law as it goes along. Signs on cars, employees' cars, right? I will tell you what I've done. When I've been across the county here, and I've had county employees ask me, can I put a sign in my yard with your name on it? I tell them no. Tell you the reason why I tell them that. It ain't that they're not supporting me, and I don't care. It becomes that ethics side back and forth, right? What if I lose? Some people hold grudges. I'm not saying Robert holds grudges. I'm just saying some people hold grudges, right? Well, let me put a sign on my car. Okay, you run around with it on your car. I'm a county employee. I did last election, they parked them at the courthouse. Different places. They had my signs on, right? I wasn't for that. My problem is with it is that what is the view and morality behind that person doing it? And I know they're trying to support you. But ethically, I think that I would never put them in that position to say, hey, we're not going to compromise you whatsoever. So if you got a sign and you're a county employee, don't ask me for a sign for me. Don't ask for a sign on my vehicle. Don't ask me to put on your vehicle or a sign put on your wife's vehicle. Now, I'm not going to stop you. Right? But the point that I'm making out of it is, what do you do with it? You know, and people do that waving back and forth. So that's what I'm at on signs. Signs don't vote. They just bring out people that have discussions with them. And they blow over.
I know that question was pointed to me, and I got employees got signed all over their car. You know why? Because they trust me. That's invaluable to anything we can do. If they want to, if it's in the bounds, you call ethics. As long as I stay ethical, if they want them on there, we live in America today. And if it's not against the law, it's within the bounds. And that's, I like it like that. Hey, if they want to put Jesse's on there, put them on there. And I'm not going to, like I said, I'm not going to hold a grudge. I'll be a little disappointed, I will promise you that. I'll be honest with you. But I wouldn't fire somebody over because you know how hard it is to find a dadgum road grader operator? It's tough. I got a new one coming in tomorrow, and I hope he does a good job, but he might want to sign. I don't know, and he might want to get it. I can't say that, but I'm not going to stop him because today today we live in America, and we're free people to put whatever we want where we want. Thank you.
Okay, our last question is, what goals do you plan to accomplish, or you're gonna try, you want to accomplish in your first 6 months?
That's a good question.
Ready, thank you. First 6 months, first 6 months.
We all have goals. But I've already started working on my goals. Had a Martin Luther King vision, the violence, stop the violence coming to Monticello, which we've been working on for a long time. And it's not, Brother Akins, it's not, I'm saying this, me and the government got together because of not who I was, a Democrat, because of the person. Sat down and talked to him. I talked to Sean Crawford of the Martin Luther King Vision Stop the Violence, and they are coming to Monticello. You don't have the date yet for them, but that's the progress for my children. It's bullying. This is a main concern of the government. Bullying and all this. Our kids need to see that. There's not no white punching bag, not no black punching bag. But my goal is to let our children see the future that Monticello has for them in our community, in our school district, and in our schools and so on. I really had to think hard about how was I going to go to hospital. They wouldn't answer phone calls. But I had people in place because I don't quit. Because our kids need to stop the violence, the bullying, and everything that's going on in the district. It's going on. It's going on. We cannot hide it, but we can contain it and teach our children the right way to go. To be leaders and follow the road that you take. My goal in the first 6 months, back in office, is first to work on that budget we got in the school district. $16 million that we got to go to the voter that you voted to pass the millage. We got to have some leadership on that.
All right.
We got to have some leadership, you know, if the superintendent is spending the money right. So I'm asking for 6 months to make sure that we get that gym built out there. What a new Monticello High School has not been did since 1975. Do y'all realize that when we just voted in? $16 more million to the Monticello School District. And I'm determined to stand up for the children. When I go into school, they know me. How you doing, Mr. Well? White kids, don't they, Miss A? Don't they? They know me. Black kids, they know me. Don't they know me, Miss Nipples? When I walk up to them, we never had that being a school board, man. We said, like Renee said, we have ethics books and laws that we have to not disclose, but you can show love to your teachers. Because that's where I get my information from the school, from the principal, from all of that. We have faces and places now. So let's get behind the train. Let's keep on pushing this way. 5 more years, vote for Keith E. Wells Sr., not Junior. 5 more years.
Judges don't have platforms like other candidates, but I have one goal that I would like to accomplish in my first 6 months as your next circuit judge in the 10th Judicial District in the 4th Division. And that is to cultivate community confidence in my role as the next judge who is administering justice fairly and with integrity. And not just in the courtroom, but also to be integrated within the local community as well. So I want y'all to be able to see me and trust me and know that I'm operating in fairness. Thank you. Demetria L
Oh, this is good.
was telling you, I've got my goals and stuff over there on paper, what I would like to reach. I will publish some more of that by Friday. We're only elected for 4 years at a time. So if I was to tell you, I've got a 6-month plan or whatever down the road, I do have a 6-month plan. First of all, I'll have 6 months from the 24th of May, when I get elected, to the 1st of January, when I get sworn in. So I'll have a plan. I'll have it in writing. I'll also be able to talk to people about it prior to that, the transition. So I created a 4-year plan. I want to build morale within the employees of the county and assure them that they have a voice, that they can come and speak open-mindedly, back and forth, because everybody I've found across the world has a mind. They have concerns. The guy riding on the back of that trash truck that gets paid less than $15 an hour. I said before, said it yesterday, and I'll say it at the next one. Would you ride on the back of that trash truck for $15 an hour? You got a budget, want votes on it, put it through the budget. Let them turn down that job. Let them get embarrassed about turning down what the judge asked them for $15 an hour for a trash guy on the back of the truck. Address the concerns of the citizens in a timely and respectful manner. I'll have a call off. You call into the judge's office, call off, and we have your name and number, and I'll get back with you in 24 hours, or somebody from my office with it. We're physically responsible to tell you where your money's going. Every month, foreign court will get a list of how much trash come in, how much it costs for that trash to come in, how many gravel roads we graded, how much asphalt we laid, and the cost of that every single month. I was talking to the citizens in Drew County, get a 1-cent sales tax. Y'all pay that. Right? The county, you can't get none of that. I'm sorry. That's the law, unfortunately. But there's other ways we can do things. Thank you.
6 months. I'm trying to think. 6 months. What can you do in 6 months? I got 14.7 miles of asphalt fixed to hit the road somewhere in this county. I can give you the details of which road, how many miles, but sit down and figure it out. As far as road detail, if you've got a road and you call me and tell me it hasn't been graded, every road's got a detail. Renee sits on court. If she wants to know it, all she got to do is call down there. And guess what? Chris can call down there. Good. Anybody can call. Anybody. My wife could call. Donald would have the answers like that because we have a spreadsheet on it. It's not that I'm probably the most, by my wife's words herself, transparent person in this world because my mouth will tell you something. I just want to say that we've got goals for this year. We're buying gravel for $1 a yard. I don't know where you can get that done anywhere, but I negotiated it to $1 a yard. It's so we're putting as much gravel on these roads as we can because when I came here 10 years ago, I thought the rocks were wore out, and they were, but they still wore out. We're still traveling on them. And we do still have roads that need paved, but it doesn't make economic sense to pave them with log truck traffic. And I'm not down on the log truck. They are our friends. And I will fix the roads when they tear them up, but I get a lot of complaints over it. So thank y'all.
We would like to take this time to thank each of you for taking those questions and answering them for us, and we are assuming that there are no other questions from the audience. So at this time, we recognize the fact that we have other candidates that come this evening, realizing that they were not scheduled on the platform because this was just colloquial. But we would not dare leave without giving you an opportunity to, but we're trying to stick with that so that we can be timely in all honesty. So if you will introduce yourself and tell us the position that you are running for, and give us a little sketch of your bio, we would appreciate that. We didn't have a particular order time, and then when one, introduce him or herself, then the next person stand, and we'll see if we can do it, in the order. Will that work?
Yes.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Oh, my nerves are shot right now. My biggest thing is Monticello. There's not one person, one guy that's sitting down here that, we love our town. Monticello is our diamond of the South Arkansas. My name is Bart Gregory. I'm running for mayor. A lot of my things I've done in the past is, I passed out 3 years, I passed winter coats out for kids and families that didn't have them. I also collected winter coats to do that. Then I saw the churches taking over that part, so I sort of shied off from that. We put in Deer Creek. I wanted to do something for the kids because I heard a lot of kids talking about how we need to do something, programs we need to do something. Now I'm gonna tell you, over the last 10 years, there hasn't been nothing going on for the kids. Nothing. So, I watch our parks. It's the same parks that we played on when we were young. There's things that can be updated that are not. There's other things that are more important than the kids, the parks and stuff. Now, if we want to talk about bringing business to town, we need to talk about updating our parks. We need to update our town, our community gatherings. We're special, and we're not getting nothing. I'm tired of it. We put on our festival last year because our city would not do that. Now, social gatherings are big to me because we need to bring everybody together. It's not separate. It's not we're going to do lights over here, but we're not going to do lights over here. Okay, now these are all children and kids that deserve a chance to have an opportunity to do something, to see Santa Claus, not for only certain ones. I did Deer Creek Disc Golf Course in Monticello. I put it in for 5 years. I brought in, we filled hotels, we filled restaurants, and when I saw what was going on, it was like, wow, man, we're making an impact here. We're helping these businesses and helping the kids. You don't realize how many kids I've taught disc golf to. The kids across the street, they were wild, but I talk to them and I try to keep everything. When doing our lights out here with the Area 4A, I'm moving out for months. It was such a passion because I looked around and I saw all these families, all these kids, all these people coming together that wanted to help. Didn't know it, but they wanted to help. And that's what we're like in our community gatherings, our community getting together. And I heard a lot of white and black and Hispanic, and I look at it as Monticello family because we're all connected in one way or another. I mean, my father, my grandfather, my papa, Lee Gregory at the Spinning Wheel, my uncle Gene Gregory. I have a passion for my town. I'm not in this for anything. I ain't worried about retiring. I ain't worried about this. I'm worried about doing something. So when I leave here, I feel good that I've done something to help our community. And I don't care about the time. My goal is to stand up. I'm tired of sitting back. I'm a painter. I'm a contractor. I'm not a politician. But I'm sick and tired of nothing to stay on community. We have to come together. We've got to do something to make our town better for us and our kids and give our kids something to do.
Yeah.
I'm not married, no. Come right here. All right, I'm Tim Nichols. I'm running for Drew County Sheriff. I moved here in 96, 97. Come from a small town in Eudora, Arkansas. All right. Come here, went to school at Drew Central, 2004. Married my wife, Jennifer. Got 4 kids. Skylar, Jordan, Layton, and Lucas. They all attended Monticello. Skylar's graduated working. In law enforcement since 2007. I worked at Drew County Sheriff's Office from 2011 through 2017. Patrol deputy, criminal investigator. Currently working with the Warren Police Department as a criminal investigator. Running as independent. I don't believe that a sheriff should be tied up into the party, for example, because we are for the people. not for a party. When you call 911, I'm not gonna ask you, are you Democrat or Republican? I'm gonna ask you to call, we're gonna go, and we're gonna respond, okay? The goal is to make Drew County a better and safer place to live, work, visit, but most importantly, raise a family. That's what we are, we're a family, okay? If you have any questions, feel free to call me, text me, 870-723-4679. You can also send an email to Nichols, NICHOLS, the number 4, Drew County, @yahoo.com. If you want to send an email, okay? Call me anytime, day or night.
But the judge has said everybody needs a second chance. I also believe some people need a third chance. But I also believe after the second and third chance, some people need a point proven for the community. My goal is to lower the crime, but with lowering the crime, I believe as the sheriff, we need to interact with the county judge, with the new coming mayor, the school board. We get more classes, more dedication to our schools, I believe we will lower the crime that way. Also, back to the question of mediators. I do believe the sheriff is a big mediator between the deputies out here enforcing the law for him, the sheriff enforcing the law, but you've also got to have a working relationship with each and every candidates, positions, officials in Drew County. You've got to be the people person and work with everybody. Just like David Minotti said, you've got to listen to both sides and you've got to listen to all sides. As Drew County Sheriff, that is my goal and my plan, is to work for the citizens of Drew County. Again, my name is James Slaughter, Drew County Sheriff.
Keep moving. Good afternoon. Jack, how you doing? My name's Mark Gober. I'm your current Drew County Sheriff. I have a long-standing family history in Drew County. They go way back, which that means something to me. We always take in newcomers to Drew County, but my roots are firmly rooted in Drew County and its people, all its people. I'm a father, a grandfather, and I'm 62. I'm in pretty good health. God bless. Prior to being a sheriff, I worked 12 years, almost 12 years at ADC, and I thought, I did a good job there, I like the job. But I thought I could do better being a sheriff. So I ran for sheriff, and eventually I got it. I've been here 18 years. It just seems like yesterday. I have one of the most open door policies there is. I work with everybody. There's nobody up here I haven't worked with. Keith Weldon helps me out a lot with these children. He doesn't bring them to me. He does talk to me about them, and I visit them. Drew Central is in the city limits of Monticello. I put a school resource officer at Drew Central because that's what we need. That makes me feel safe about the kids out there. And I know it makes the parents feel good. And that we're very interactive with the children of this county. I have several people come to me about talking to my kids, teaching my kids on how to do it. I can do a lot of things myself, but how much more can we do with people from the public churches and everybody? We all get involved. Don't just look for elected officials to do something. It takes everybody out here. Everybody out here has a village. And bring your village to me, or to these people up here, if you have a problem going on being solved. You just need somebody to talk to. We need to build a bigger jail. I hate to say that, but we do. At this time, with crime going on, these youngsters out here, white and black, slinging these guns, shooting these guns, there's got to be a place for them to go. With COVID going on, we've had to turn away, because you got to quarantine people. You got to turn away some people. We arrested people, the sheriff's department has, and we called 17 jails and couldn't find anybody that would hold this person for us. So today, law enforcement, the Monticello Police Department arrest people, and they do, rightfully so, they're on the job. Sometimes we don't have room in our jail, and we have to call around to find room. Now, because the reason I say that, you got to find room, because you can only hold so many people with the bed space you have legally, gotta watch the legally, the county close to us got rid of and fined for that. So we gotta make sure we have places to put these people. And for a couple of years, myself and the judge have been working on this new regional jail. It needs to come. It will be good. We only want criminals locked up. Misdemeanors, we don't hold misdemeanors. But the felons, the violent felons, we're gonna hold. There will not be released. My name is Mark Over. I'm Drew County Sheriff. I appreciate your vote again and your support again. And thank you to the NAACP. It's always a good forum here. I'm a member of the NAACP. So everybody needs to join the NAACP.
There you go. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. What an application.
Good evening.
Good evening.
My name is Jack Foster, and I'm a candidate for U.S. Senate as a Democrat. I want to make something perfectly clear. I'm not running for the Democratic Party. I'm not running for Joe Biden. I want to make that clear. I'm running for the people of Arkansas. Now, if you live south of Little Rock, you ain't got nothing coming from the federal government. All you got to do is look around. I hear county judges and mayors talk about not having enough resources to do what they need to get done. We need to tap some federal resources and get it to this part of the country. Born in New York, raised in Lake Village. I'm one of you. I come from this area. So I understand the problems you have. Okay? I looked at it and I got into this race because of the fact that the guy who holds it down, I said I could do a better job than him sleep. That's how good I feel about my So at the end of the day, we need to be concerned about putting someone in office who cares about you. That guy that got this seat now, he cares about only Donald Trump. He don't care about you. It's evident. Now, the last time I was down here in Monticello was, I came down for the quote-unquote peaceful Marquis Martin rally. I was here. And let me tell you why I was here. Because of the fact this lady had lost her son. And 10 years ago, I lost a son to violent crime. So I felt her pain. And I felt I needed to be here to support her. And I was here. Okay? And if I get called again, I'll be back again. Because I know that it has not been resolved yet, but it needs to be. She needs some closure. But at the end of the day, I want to be your U.S. Senator. And I promise you one thing. If you contact me, I will get back with you. One thing I've already said. When I win this seat, you're the one who work for me that don't care about people. You don't care about people, you can't work for me. You're the ones who send people to Washington. And we're not getting the results that we need to be getting out of Washington now. But thank you for your time. God bless you.
I'm not used to going further than this thing, it's okay.
Take your mask off.
Keep the mask off. So let's keep this thing on, but anyway, my name is Curtis Jackson, I live in Wilmore, Arkansas. Most of you didn't know me. For those who don't know me, you will get to know about me knocking on your door in the next few weeks. Door-to-door campaign. I want to say one thing about our country. Our country is great. But our country is not great for everybody at all times. Now, we got our arms open. Somebody not like what I'm going to say. I don't care. We got our arms open for people to come to this country. Not come from Ukraine, got people. We can have people get them a boat down there in Haiti and come across the river right there in Florida and we turn around and shoot them back. I got a problem with that. Okay? Because they look like me. You might not have a problem with that. I don't care. But I tell you one thing about the legislation that's going on. And Foster mentioned this right here. We have not got the respect on the money we do in this area. Rob can tell you, Illinois been sitting out there and they got nothing on it for almost 30 years. 300 and something acres of land. And we ain't got a damn prospect that came through no time. There's something wrong with that picture. We got to stand up and ask what we want. I blame us. How many times have you called your representative? How many times have you called your senator? Tell you some help down here. All right? Never. I probably don't know the number. We'll find the number. It's in the phone book. Now, I ain't got no phone book anymore. It's a shame that we don't have phone book. They say, well, I can get the number on my phone. Yeah, you can, but everybody can get the number on their phone.
Mm.
Wow. We got a problem about standing up for what we can stand up for.
Yes, we have.
Now, Drew Central got 500 something miles of roads out Bush Trail every day. I'm on the school board out Drew Central. I'm like, well, I stand up for our kids. But this simple reason is, if we didn't have the kids, the teachers wouldn't have the job.
That's right.
That's right. If you look on your taxes, the school is financed by your taxes. 95% of your taxes go to school. There's nothing wrong with that. But we need another way to help finance the school to go along with that money, because we don't have enough to pay our teachers.
Mm-hmm.
Our teachers need to be making $60,000 a year in interest staff.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying that could be easy, tell them, but that's what they need. Well, why do you want to pay a teacher so much? They taking care of your son.
They had your kid.
You don't want to take care of them.
That's right.
You want to palm somebody. Look what the teacher do. The teacher is a babysitter, a nurse, and a teacher all at the same time.
My name is Andrew Pritt. I too am a member of the NAACP. I too am also a member of the Arkansas Democrat Black Caucus. Because when we all come together to the table, then we all can not just listen to each other, but hear each other. And that's what's forgotten in government anymore. Now, I'm running for state representative because the legislative branch makes the laws. The executive branch executes the laws. The judicial branch interprets the laws.
Okay.
But we all forgot what that's about. Because somewhere along the line, we started saying, I'm not a politician. But Demetria, you and I knew a man and worked for a man, Dale Bumpers, who said, I believe politics is an honorable profession. Now, I'm not going to go to the garage to get my souffle, and I'm not going to go to the bakery to get my car fixed. You got to have somebody run for state representative who understands what the job is and how to work with it. Now, I'm surprised my opponent on the other side of the aisle, who has served 10 years, is not here. This is the third forum he's not been at. So remember when you go to vote, hopefully in the Democratic primary, which you and I are running in, to remember who cares enough to come. I've heard a lot about working for the kids, and that's good. But I'm also about the veterans. If we can get ourselves working with President Biden, and I did work with President Biden, I traveled with President Biden, and I helped elect President Biden, and I'm not ashamed to say that. But I'm going to use that work that I did to work with him, with our congressional delegation, with our state and county officials to make sure we get a veterans hospital in Southeast Arkansas, because the money is there, and if we can do it in Northwest Arkansas, we sure as heck can do it in Southeast Arkansas. And when I go to the state legislature, sorry, you're going to have to wait, Curly. And I'm your state representative, I'll sit down with you if you're a Republican, if you're an independent, because common sense makes sense. And Sheriff, I respect you a lot, but you and I will disagree on one thing here. My platform is about jobs, not a jail. Because this proposed new jail, the way it is written, is not going to get violent criminals off the street, because it is not going to be there. We do not need to be focused on jail right now. We need to be focused on jobs, because crime is a result of lack of jobs and economic opportunity. My name is Andrew Pritt, and I respectfully ask for your vote May 24th and November 8th for state representative.
Do you have any closing remarks? Sure. Okay.
We certainly would like to thank each of you. We've not missed anybody. We don't want to overlook anyone that running for office that can take this opportunity to briefly share with us. Again, we'd like to thank the NAACP, and we have a couple of more things that we would like to do before the end. One is we're going
Jason Akers back there. And Jason Akers back there. He could talk.
We have a couple of things, I don't know if I heard what she said, that we want to do. One is to ask our chair of our membership committee to come and make an appeal. And then we would not dare leave without yielding to the president of the NAACP to come and share a few words with her. I'm probably put her on the spot, but that's okay. She can get it later.
Good evening, everybody. I am Lambert. I am the chairman of the membership and life membership for the NAACP branch 6042 here in Drew County. We currently have 155 members. We have grown just over the past year and a half from 50 to 155. Thanks to you guys. For those who are not a member, we are asking that you get involved. Get involved in your community. We're not a social club. We are a civil rights organization that works for the community, for the people of Drew County. And matter of fact, we have extended our borders outside of Drew County. So we are open. We have members, we have officers here that are part of the executive board. And I see members on every road here. And we appreciate you. So, but I also see those who are not a member. If you're interested to learn more about what it is that we do, I'm gonna ask that you meet with me after we dismiss. We do have application, or we can give you the website where you can go on the website in a matter of 2 minutes and be a member. So again, we're gonna ask that you get involved. I think somebody say, don't just look towards these officials here. It's a part that you can play. So we're going to ask that you get involved. See us after this forum. Thank you.
Let's give our president a hand. Give it up.
Listen, this has been outstanding. I am so, come on, give yourself a hand. I wish I could vote for everybody, but we have to make a choice. And you guys are great candidates. You know, the one thing about it is, if you want a job or something, you've got to go for it, right? You've got to stand up and speak to people. Today, you have spoken to us. You should be proud of yourselves to allow us to get a chance to get to know you if we did not get to know you. I am Clarissa Pace. This is my second year as the Drew County NAACP president here. I am proud of the growth. I am proud of what we're doing. When you see this committee, I want you to give it up for the Political Action Committee. This committee is led by Reverend Darian Buffington. And this is the work of the NAACP. Some people don't know how we do what we do. But we have committees that branch off and then they get the work done, taking care of community, economic development, membership. We have WIN, which is Women in NAACP. We have youth organization. We have AXO. We have health. We have many places that many of you can actually serve. And all we're doing is accenting what you're already doing. Sometimes people will say, well, I'm too busy or I'm too this. Well, listen, we just want to join in the work. We don't have to recreate the wheel. We just want to be a part of what's going on and make sure that we have representation, make sure that minorities are represented, make sure that they are educated, make sure that all of us, as we have talked about today, are connected and helping one another. So thank you so much. Thank you to the Political Action Committee. You have done an outstanding job today. Be blessed and please become a member. I look forward to serving with y'all.
Again, thank you so much. We appreciate your participation.